is here. So Naz, can I introduce you? Do you want me to? I can
Yes,
always
go ahead, sweetheart.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure is to introduce our Senior Vice President. You all know her, but definitely I want to make a formal introduction. She is not just our Senior Vice President. She is our chief designer. She's our friend. She's our mentor. She's the person that you look up to and want to be just like her. I'm very proud to know her. I'm very proud to be able to spend lots of times, quality time with her, learn from her every day. She has an international business and marketing degree. She started multi-level marketing in 2002 and quickly developed her business as an entrepreneur. Her success has been recognized in multiple publications that focus on the successful of women around the world. She was tasked to successfully launch our international offices. And nowadays we have our Philippines office, our Singapore, very soon Mexico, we're gonna be able to open it up. And because of her, because she has taken that leadership to make sure we have the product where we need it, to make sure we have the offices where we need it. Her understanding on the needs of distributors has allowed her to successfully mentor all of us around the world. Sana's visions with Opulence Global is to create a company that excels in fashion, beauty, and health. A company that impacts the lives of people and brings new opportunities and hope to those who desire a more fulfillment life. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our Senior Vice President and Chief Designer. I'm so excited. I'm always super, I get the chills when I get to introduce you. So please, enjoy the call today. Take lots of notes. There's so much to learn from our Senior Vice President.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Obdulia, first of all, for that beautiful, kind, heartfelt introduction. It is absolutely tremendous women that are like you, that have worked with integrity, with hard work. And, very often I find that in many corporations, women, don't excel. And this was something that I've always wanted to change in Opulence Global. And I've always been committed to inspire women, to help women and entrepreneurs around the globe. And what I'm so excited about is that we have tremendous entrepreneurs like yourself that I have seen grow, and so many other women that are on this call tonight and abroad, that are not with us right now because of time zone differences, but have been able to build an amazing, inspiring business. So it's always a pleasure to be here. A good evening to everyone that's here. I believe I also saw my partner in crime, David O, who is just here with us as well. David, are you there with us?
Hi, Shanaz. Yes, hi, Obdulia. Yes, I'm here.
Hello there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who may or may not know David is absolutely instrumental in our product development. He is my right hand when it comes to Inky lists. And of course, that basically means all of our ingredients list. Hey, David, you realize I'm using terminology from the industry now, Inky list.
That's pretty good. I like that,
Well, I got to get up and up as well. Trust me, I got to always learn when I'm around David. I got to be able to keep up with everything that he does. David comes from an extensive background in the science industry. He's a graduate from University of Toronto. For those of you who are in Toronto, it's one of our best universities. He always says, say I'm only $29.99 plus tax, but I think it's €29.99 plus tax. But we love him, his inspiration, his knowledge, his experience, and not only the skin industry, but the health and wellness industry. He comes from an oncology background. He has really been able to study so many different parts of science. And that's why it's been so instrumental to have David be a part of our team to assist with approvals in many different countries and different areas of the world. And right now he has been heavily focusing on introducing many different products into our Asian countries, as well as registration in many of our Asian countries. So David, I want to be able to, first of all, thank you for being on the call. Thank you for your expertise and knowledge always that you bring forward to the forefront of Opulence Global. to meet over 3 years ago when he was actually helping us launch an execution of Opulence. Since he's become so many other different products, done so much in the past 3 years to skincare, future products. So welcome to the call. Did I lose David?
Thanks, Sanaz. You're breaking up a
So
little.
until we get Julia, do you have my voice or did I lose David there?
No, can you hear me?
You were breaking up.
Can you hear me now? Abdulia, can you hear me?
Is me.
Yes, David, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I have nothing to say.
Okay. Yes. No, I was just saying to Sanaz that she was breaking out. So
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure if you lost me, and I kept on saying, you know, at what point did you guys lose me?
no. We were able to hear you. It was just like cutting off on and on.
Oh, okay. I think David was doing that on purpose when I was saying how old he is, how long he's been in the science industry. He always hates that part. And David cutting me off. I appreciate that.
It's a sad tale.
Well, you know, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure to be able to have each and every single one of you on. Thank you for being on the call. Tonight, we got an exciting time. I mean, we are days away from the holiday season. And, you know, David has been working on some commonly asked questions. And that's something that we've actually been working on for all of you. And I want to talk a little bit about that today, because I believe that knowledge is power. And I believe that one thing that you all as partners need to get better at is that when you hear something, when you gain knowledge, when you gain experience in something, it is so vital and important for you to pass that same message on. Because if you're hearing the message, but you're not passing it on to your team, then duplication doesn't happen. So I want you guys to take some notes tonight. And I want to be able to give you guys a little bit of education on some of the most basic principles when it comes to building a powerful business, utilizing our products. So get a paper and pen. I want to make sure that you guys are definitely taking some notes, because the reality of it is that the reason you are on this call tonight is really personal development. So write that down for me. Write down personal development in your book for me, because the reality of it is that when you are investing into yourself, then you will have more belief in yourself, right? So I want you guys to write down, I believe in myself. I am investing in myself. And that is all part of that personal development access that we do each and every single day. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is that your product is an investment that you make into you and into your business. So write that down. My product is an investment in me and my business. Now, you know, you guys all know, how many of you know that I was on this training program and I hired myself a nutritional coach and I was doing this program, right? You guys all heard me talk about it. And so one thing that I was on, it was really interesting. So this course was basically, I finished my 3 months. And okay, fantastic. So for those of you who don't know, I basically hired a personal coach in nutrition and in wellness and in eating and in cooking, pretty much like what to cook to be healthy. And my 3-month program was done. So that's when the auto ship now starts, right? And so she's trying to get people to get on our auto ship, which is basically our smart buy. And so here's the only thing that they offer to their program. So basically you pay monthly and you get access to these type of calls that I'm doing for you guys for free. Okay, did you guys just hear that? You get access to their weekly webinars, which we give you guys for free. Then the monthly is also, if you need to do a WhatsApp message, up to 5 messages a month. How many messages do you guys do to your uplines for free? Tons, right? Abdulia's like, I need my toes, right? So, oh, thank you all for all your congratulations. But I want to just share something with you guys. It's so powerful. So many of the women didn't want to spend that money monthly for their auto ship program because they were like, it's basically too expensive. And by the way, it's only $70 Canadian. And so here's what she said to everybody. If you think it's expensive, then you don't want to invest into your health. And I sat there and I was like, we give so much to all of you as partners. I mean, David and I, we spend time, we get on these calls, we give you education, but what is your health worth? Right? So if someone says to you, oh, well, Fountain of Life is expensive, they don't understand the value of it. If they say your toothpaste is expensive, or your shampoo or your conditioner or your jewelry or your fashion, they don't understand the value. And your job is to bring value to your customer. So bring value equals customer. Write down value equals customer. Because when you bring value to your customer for the product that you are selling, guess what's going to happen? Customers are going to buy from you. And they can basically value the money they're spending in the product. Now, our health equals wealth. Many times, a lot of people wait till they get sick until they can invest into their health. And really, if you think about it, when you are using all of our products as a package, as a Safe Home Revolution, what is it doing to your body? David, this is where I'd like for you to tell our participants, you know, when someone is investing, really, they're buying the best products, the best ingredients, the best raw materials. How are they investing in their health and their well-being overall?
Well, I think it's a really important step because you're investing in yourself at that point, right? There's that adage where, you never can spend enough, you don't want to spend the money when you're well, but when you're sick, you'll always spend as much as you can to get that corrected.
Mhm.
And I
Thank
think one of the things that we've discovered in this society is that we wait till it becomes an acute situation. Simple things right now, like COVID-19 is a great example. How many people don't want to wear a mask,
Mhm.
right? They don't want to until they get COVID-19 and they're hospitalized, and they'll pay anything to get to the front of the line to get a cure. But at that point, they're too late for the vaccine. The vaccine's not going to stop it. It's going to prevent. So the thing is that our society is geared towards acute care. We're not a preventative society, and that's really unfortunate. And our medical professions are the first ones to admit that. They think it's a real problem in our attitude.
Yeah.
And that we don't want to invest in ourselves right now. We wouldn't take and I'll tell you honestly, like I used to I brought in a device into Canada, and this is a prime example. Like we could not sell it. No one wanted to buy it. It's for human physiotherapy to get rid of pain, to get rid of all these issues. People said, no, we're not going to buy it. They would not buy it until we found out that it was great for horses, for racehorses specifically. And you know what? We sold a ton of them. And I remember one racehorse owner brought his wife out and he asked me, can we use this on her? She's got back problems. I said, yeah. And I showed him. And he said, well, then maybe we'll buy it. He said, the horses need it, but maybe we can use it on my wife later. And so the horses took precedent. And we discovered that people spend more money on their pets. They'll spend more money on animals than they will on themselves. And so it's one of those things that we're faulty for. So it's really important to buy quality. It really is for health. I can't stress that enough. That a little ounce of quality right now will last a lot longer than you can believe, and it does so much more for you. And so take the extra couple dollars and do that because believe it or not, you're worth it. You are worth
Absolutely.
it. So I think
David, I think that's the key. That this is exactly what my health coach was sharing with me, is that a lot of times we are waiting to get sick to take care of it. And so for us, we got to take those preventions. Now that starts with all of our different products that we have. that starts from internal to external. That is Fountain of Life. And of course, everything else that comes with it, from our toothpaste to our product lines. But here's going back to the original part of it. Everything that you spend on every single month, everything you purchase is an investment into your business and into your products. So I want to make sure that your products are an investment into you, your business, the opportunity, your wealth, your future, your creation. Every penny that you spend, you get value for it. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is because how many of you have gone all out massive action? How many of you have shared videos? How many of you have gone out there and screamed from the mountaintop about what you're doing? Now, many of you are becoming better. You're doing more videos. I see you guys doing more videos, but we can't be the only ones doing videos. All of you need to do your own videos. All of you need to do your own marketing. Remember, you're in business for yourself. So when you're a product of the product, it shows. I'll give you an example. I was doing a Zoom interview today, and it was an interview for a graphic design position. And as I was doing the interview, at the end of the interview, the girl said, "I'm so sorry, I have to ask you, you have the most incredible hair. What shampoo conditioner do you use?" And I started to laugh. And I said, "Have you been on our website?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Have you seen our shampoo conditioner?" She said, "Yes." And I said, "That's the shampoo conditioner." And she's like, "Can I buy it?" And she was Asian. She said, "Will it do that to my hair?" And I said, "Yes." So many of you are getting the shampoo conditioner. I put it in my women's chat group. If you are getting the shampoo conditioner, do a video after you wash your hair and you blow dry your hair with it, because the styling is amazing. Tell us about the scent. Tell us how you feel. Tell us basically your experience, because many of you have been hearing about it. Everyone's saying it just came in today, just came in today. Yay. So this week, we're going to hear lots of testimonials. This week, we're going to let all of you, and I want all of you, break out of your comfort zone, get in front of a video, and let us know what you think. Let us know how you feel when you are using it. That is investing into yourself. Tell us your story. Remember, we are the best storytellers. We get paid to tell you stories. You get paid to tell the story of your product. And how many of you are doing it? Think about it. Write this down, please. Your stories equals money, 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 ching, ching, ching. Your story equals money, money, money. Now, the other part I want to share with you guys, and then I'm going to ask David some questions, because we've recently been getting some questions and I want to address those questions right away as well, is that every single one of you has a story, right? COVID-19 is everywhere. Everywhere is getting shut down. Countries are getting shut down. We hear all the stories. I keep myself away from a lot of negativity. I don't like to really get into it. You know, we've implemented masks in our office. When we're around someone, we're doing the social distancing. We've implemented touchless sanitizer. We've done every protocol we can possibly imagine in our office to protect our staff and to protect ourselves. But here's the thing. While everybody is focusing on getting sick and the virus and vaccines, here's what I'm focusing on. How do we capitalize on it? How do we make money on it? How do we share the opportunity during a lockdown? Today was the first day of lockdown where everything shut down here in Canada, in Toronto, in our region. Shops, malls, everything is closed. How many people do you think are last minute Christmas shoppers and haven't done Christmas shopping? How many of you are last minute? David, are you a last minute shopper?
No, I'm ready
Oh, amazing.
for once.
For once. So here's the thing. Today, we had a flood of calls from our customers saying, "Oh my God, today's the deadline. Today's the deadline. Can I order more?" And so one thing we said to them is, yes, you can definitely order more. But how many people do you think are out there that haven't done their shipping yet? or haven't done their Christmas shopping yet, or holiday shopping or gifts. Tons of people. So you can get out there and do a video and let people know you have a product for them, right? People can go out there and make purchases from your website where you're able to earn money, and you're able to benefit, they're able to benefit because they get their gifts, you get your profits. It's a win-win-win. So David, I want to talk a little bit about that. That's sort of like the business product training aspect I wanted to share today. But I want to talk a little bit about products, because I find sometimes people are asking some questions that may not reflect really what we are and who we are as a company. So I want to talk a little bit about that. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about Fountain of Life. And, I want to talk about the fact that, Fountain of Life is not a multivitamin or, and I want to talk a little bit about that as opposed to me talking about it. David, first of all, tell us, what is Fountain of Life? I know we've heard this many times, but we sometimes need to reiterate the basics. And then tell us what's not in the Fountain of Life, because I think sometimes people message us and say, is there biotin in Fountain of Life? Is there vitamins in Fountain of Life? Is there B12 in is there vitamin C? So talk to us a little bit about what is Fountain of Life and what it does to us.
Yeah, that's a pretty good question. We could broaden that too. In terms of vitamins and vitamin therapy, there's a lot of people that take vitamins that are asking questions. Fountain of Life is the extract from the Norwegian spruce tree grown in northern Finland. This is a tree that is virtually disease-free. It grows in a very harsh environment, and the scientists discovered that its ability to survive under the harshest conditions is a result of lignans. And lignans are plant antioxidants found in the cell walls, and they're managed to extract it. When they extracted this, they discovered that that this is a very, very powerful antioxidant, that it has the most powerful source of lignans in nature, much more powerful than anything that was offered. And they also realized at the same time that our food sources were depleted of lignans. And that was not part of our lexicon. We didn't realize that the word lignans, it was something we didn't talk about. And it's just because it was missing from our food sources. So essentially, when they extracted this, they weren't even sure what to do with it, to be honest with you. And they started applying it to sunscreens, and they used it in sunscreens because sunscreens are designed to block UVA and UVB radiation, but they did nothing about free radicals on the skin. And so they started incorporating this to actually neutralize free radical activity. And that was beneficial. However, we got hold of it and added it to our Fairy Flawless line. And when we did that, we used it to, again, neutralize free radicals that causes our skin to age. Then we took it one step further. We created the supplement that we know as Fountain of Life. And there's a lot of questions around it. Well, for one, Fountain of Life is a lignin source, a very powerful antioxidant. And that's why we're seeing so many wonderful stories behind it.
Sorry, David, can I get you to elaborate what is a lignin? Because a lot of people don't know what that word means.
Well, it's a plant antioxidant. It's a polyphenol. It's a plant antioxidant. So it's part, there's flavonoids and a number of different plant antioxidants. And this is just in one group called lignans, Lignans. And lignans convert to enterolactone in our body. And enterolactone is a very important component to reduce chronic inflammation. It's designed to lower any oxidative stress activity in our bodies, neutralize free radicals. So it is all part of the process that our body does require. And so that is why it has become very important in our diets. And because we're devoid of them, we really do need them. So people get confused. They think, well, number one, I take multivitamins. Do I have to stop taking them? The answer is no. Absolutely not. If you're using them, no, you can continue using them. There are no vitamins in Fountain of Life. The mode of action is much different than some of the multivitamins. And if you have a reason and a rationale for them, I would encourage taking them. But there is no B12 biotin. There is no any soluble or fat soluble vitamins in Fountain of Life. It is a lignin. And it is a lignin that is very important to our diets. So it balances our diets and improves our diet. So you can continue using your multivitamins, and just recognize the fact that it is not a vitamin source.
So, David, when it comes to plant antioxidants, we've talked a lot about this, and it's why it is so vital. And the reason that so many people are benefiting and seeking. So, I do also want to reiterate before I continue, Fountain of Life is not a drug. It is not a cure. It is not a medicine. Okay. So, we want to make sure that you guys understand that this is not a medicine or a drug. But many people, when they start to use the Fountain of Life, they start to experience some amazing results. They start to have better digestion. They tend to go to the bathroom and void, more frequently. They're able to see great results in their hair and their skin and their diet and their well-being, pains, aches, better sleep. Thank you for mentioning that. So why does the product work the way it does? Why is it that so many people are seeking so many benefits? With hundreds of thousands of bottles that we are selling worldwide. We've been distributing this product now for 3 years. I remember when we first started about 3 years ago. This is something that we talked a lot about. People are saying, could this be a placebo effect? Is it because you're telling us? But more and more people are realizing that by using the Fountain of Life, they're just having such a better, immune system. So why is that, David, in simple terms?
Well, the big thing is free radicals. If people don't understand what a free radical is a molecule missing an electron. And a molecule missing an electron likes to have paired electrons, and what it does is attacks the body and will try and steal one. And our body is equipped to handle that. And I know people will mention that to me because we have glutathione, we have things like superoxide dismutase in our bodies. However, our bodies become overwhelmed because we're bombarded by pollution, pesticides, we're bombarded by UV radiation. And so when our bodies become weakened, we need a better source of electrons to loan. And our lignins can do that. Lignins do loan that as an antioxidant. And when it does do that, it does not become a free radical. And that's sort of unique. It does not, because it's missing an electron, it does not become a free radical, whereas other entities might. And so lignins have that property that's very important for us. And so we're trying to achieve that balance. And if we can neutralize free radical activity, it reduces oxidative stress, reduces chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation is the root cause of many issues. Arthritis is one, diabetes type 2, cardiovascular disease. All these things are tied together to one root cause, which is chronic inflammation. So if we can reduce that or eliminate that, it's very important. And I'm living proof of that because I developed osteoarthritis at a very young age because of the activities I did when I was younger. And I paid the price. I was going in for knee replacement surgery. And I remember the doctor saying that, well, you're on the list, but you're not at the right age because knees don't last forever and we don't want to do this. Mm-hmm. So I started taking Fountain of Life to reduce because it was completely inflamed. And you could see it in the radiographs how inflamed my knees were. And so I started taking that on a regular basis. And when I went back last year, they said they took me off that list.
Amazing.
And it just proved to me that everything I knew about the product was proven. But it's not an overnight thing. It took me a long time to develop arthritis.
Right.
But I managed to control it and reduce the aspects of the inflammation in a matter of a couple of years. But I went from a very severe arthritis to one that really doesn't exist any longer. Am I cured from it? No, but I have to keep taking it to reduce that inflammation. And this is not a cure. This is not a treatment for it. But I realized, you know, in telling you this, you have to see that this is a powerful, powerful product that will help you reduce the chronic inflammation and control the chronic inflammation that we all suffer from. And we all have aches and pains as we grow older, unfortunately. And when you hit my age, you know, 30 years old, you do get
Plus
some
tap.
what's that? Plus
Plus,
more. Plus more. Plus a lot more. So
Dave, I think it's not just free radicals. It's also the big part that's happened in our universe, I guess I'm going to say, because it doesn't matter what part of the world you live in. Our food, our water, our diets have changed. So Julia, can you hear us okay? Because I'm hearing that we've lost sound. Can you hear us okay? Can everyone hear us okay? Give us a yay. Okay. David, you can hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Oh, okay. I just heard that we've lost sound. Okay. All right. Perfect. So one of the big things that's happened, thank you all for your feedback. So one big thing that's also happened is not only that, not only, you know, the chronic inflammation comes from, you know, free radicals, but our foods have changed. And, you know, our food quality has gone down. And this is why it's even more vital and more important for us to have those plant antioxidants, because you know, before there used to be a saying, you know, we used to joke around about it. We used to say, you know, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, the apple a day doesn't even have, you know, a quarter of the nutrients that it used to have before. Food doesn't even taste the same anymore. It's our water, it's our pollution, it's our soil, it's, you know, mass production that's happening that really has just changed the quality of our goods. So why is a plant antioxidant so vital in our diets to give back what we're missing from, I guess I just said it, why lignans are so important to be able to, you know, take enough of it to be able to rebuild our immune system in a powerful way.
Well, it has become more important. Yeah, I'll tell you that like this thought process is not lost on researchers. If you start reading all the papers out there, they're starting to look at lignans, natural antioxidants. And when we take a look at supplements and all that, it's a really easy thing for them to define what is needed, not needed. They say that if you take enough in your foods, you don't need a supplement. There's a Yale professor said that you just don't need it. They said you're just overdoing it and it's sort of silly. However, if you're not reaching the standards that you require to maintain that level, then yes, you should supplement it. Lignans, on average, are taken in at 1 milligram per day when you should be taking it around 50 milligrams a day.
Wow.
We're devoid of it. It's really simple. We're devoid of that. And researchers are now thinking that, hold it, we could do a lot more with our diets. And then when we start looking at really serious diseases, and researchers are saying, can we change the diets of many people and help them address some of these issues, not just therapeutically, but in terms of an overall quality of life, and just discovering that there are changes in a positive light. Is it going to cure anything? Maybe not, but it's going to certainly be something we can live with. And now that these are thought processes that are changing. I've heard some doctors say, you know, things like cancer, maybe we can't cure cancer, but maybe we could learn to live with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's something new that you think about. They're not eradicating, maybe they're figuring a way to live with something like this. But again, how do we support and these processes like apoptosis, which is natural cell turnover in our bodies, how to promote that? Well, it's through our diets, actually. And they're looking at that very closely. Cancer does the exact opposite, just keeps growing and growing. So they said, if you can turn over the cells, and that's why it's important this day of COVID, how to get rid of a virus by turning over a cell. And so they say maybe our diets are more important. And I'm starting to read more and more about that. It's not definitive. It's not a cure. It's not a treatment. But they're saying, can we improve our chances by diets? And they think there is a key in there. And they're looking at lignans, seriously looking at lignans. because
Yes.
we're devoid of it in our diets. And they think that's contributing lack of lignans, mental health issues. Now they tied our microbiome to things like bipolar disorder. They've also linked this to a lack of lignans into things like road rage, believe it or
Hmm.
not, our inability to cope, mental stresses and all that from today's society is just something that we can handle better if our diets are better. And it surprised me, but at the same time, I think people should realize that the studies are ongoing right now. This is just the beginning; it's not the end.
Absolutely. David, I'm going to share something very, very powerful with everyone here. So I wish I could actually share my private page of the health and wellness program that I'm a part of. So there is a program where it takes you through a 3 month, 6 month, 9 month journey. And so one of the big things that I see that a lot of the women that experience in that health and wellness program I'm doing is they're looking younger as well. And so one thing like I'm working with a nutritionist, someone who went to school for this, and they were saying that food and what she highly believes, and actually I just introduced her to Fountain of Life. She basically believes that your food and the nutrients that you are putting into your body is what's going to be able to reverse many of the things that many ailments that people have. And it's just based on food is the start. Water is the start. You know, a lot of people sometimes start to take Fountain of Life and they don't take enough water because their body needs to flush, right? Especially if you're brand new. One thing that I highly recommend for you to do is to teach your customers drink lots of water, especially when you're first taking Fountain of Life, because you want the toxins to get out of the body. And the only way to get it out of the body is a good old H2O, right? So you need to increase your water. Many people have reported, David, to us that even when they are starting to take Fountain of Life, brand new users, they basically started to go to the bathroom a lot more often. They're voiding a lot more. And there's a couple of different reasons for that. Number one, you know, they're getting rid of the toxins. Number two, the main one, they're getting rid of inflammation. You know, inflammation is the biggest one that they're getting rid of. And then, of course, we have lots of people, David, that stop using Fountain of Life because somehow they think, oh, you know, my pain has gone away, and they starts to come back because inflammation is constant. So that's another question I wanted to ask you, David. If someone is a Fountain of Life user and they stop using the product, first of all, is there side effects? Secondly, what can happen to them? Third, is it harmful to them?
Well, it's not harmful to them, except that the chronic inflammation that they started with will return.
Mhm.
What's harmful is that their health might deteriorate. You know, other things will happen because you're not treating things prophylactically. What you're doing is just letting things go. And if you're inconsistent with Fountain of Life, meaning if you take 30 drops today and 3 weeks later you take another 30 drops and 4 months later you take another 30 drops, it isn't going to do anything for you.
Mhm.
Honestly, it won't. Or if you say, well, I'm going to take three, instead, I got this bottle and I'm going to take 3 drops a day. In fact, I'm going to cut it down to 1 drop a day. It's not going to do anything for you. It really, you know, it just doesn't make sense, right? To do that. You have to feed your body in order for it to work. There's so many reports of people changing their diets, which is great, adding more fiber into the diets. And you know what they don't do is drink water. They take a supplement that's supposed to help. They don't drink water. And when they don't drink water, they get lightheaded and they feel dizzy. And the first thing they say is that's because that darn supplement. I took that. I took 3 drops of that supplement, and guess what? I feel dizzy. Well, did they drink water? No, I didn't think about that because it's just water. Well, you know, it all goes hand in hand. And some of them report I get a headache. The first thing I say to a person when they got a headache, I said, drink more water.
Mhm.
They think it's stupid, but I tell them, I say, probably your lack of water. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, yeah, they just lack water, or they're drinking a ton of a ton of coffee, which is a natural diuretic. So
Uh-huh.
they're just losing water from their system. I said, you got to balance it. Water is a real important component to our health. So let's not forget that. And I try to encourage people that, so, when we dehydrate ourselves, it's not a good thing. Yeah, you might lose a little weight, but that's only temporary anyway. So you got to be careful with that.
Absolutely. So, David, I'm going to reiterate a couple things. There's a lot of people on this call that they want the health and wellness. The weight loss industry is a massive industry on its own. And of course, when it comes to taking the fountain of life, the fountain, it really helps the body in so many different ways. But one thing that everyone needs to teach their customers is that when they're taking the fountain of life, they also need to use a lot more water. Water is essential in your health. And one thing that we've noticed with the surveys that we sent out, majority of our consumers, majority of our partners are not drinking enough water. And so you really, really need to add that element of water to your regimen every single day for better skin, for better health, for better hair, for better everything. Okay. Water is just as important as taking your fountain of life. And the other thing as well, just to piggyback on what David was saying, taking fountain of life consistently and enough is really key. It's like not brushing your teeth for 1 week and then brushing it once a week and saying, oh, I brush my teeth once a week. Would you do that? No, your breath would stink, right? If you were to brush your teeth once a week, are you going to get cavities? Are you going to get bad breath? Absolutely. But if you consistently are using your toothpaste every single day, which you should be using at least twice a day, morning and evening, will it give you better oral hygiene? And the answer is absolutely. Fountain of life is no different. Now, if you put a smidge, like if you put 1 drop of toothpaste onto your toothbrush and brush your teeth, are you going to get the same effect as putting the right amount, which is the pea size, on your toothbrush? Fountain of life is no different than your toothpaste. I'm using that analogy so that you can use that analogy when it comes to your customers. Think about it. Do you brush your teeth every single day? The answer is yes. Do you take care of your oral hygiene every single day? Yes. Can you imagine if for 1 month you brushed your teeth and for 1 month you didn't brush your teeth? What would happen to your hygiene? What would happen to your oral health? See, the problem is most of us don't understand what is happening in our bodies until we get sick. So when you're using your fountain of life consistently, it is doing things in your body with or without you knowing. Trust the process. Remember what I said to you. Be a product of the product. Believe in what you are doing. Never doubt yourself. Be consistent, not only with your business, not only with your product, not only with your stories, but with your customers. Share the same basic things. There's been many times you guys have got on these calls and you may have heard the same thing over and over. Do you know why we share it with you? Because we need you to go out there and we need you to follow up and we need to train your team and we need you to share it and share it and share it and share it. You need to be sharing it worldwide about every product, Fairy Flawless, toothpaste, a fountain of life, shampoo, conditioner. And the more you know, the stronger you become. The more belief you have, the more confident you speak. But I want you guys to really think about the analogy of using, a toothpaste 1 month and then not brushing your teeth the next month. Does that work? No. So fountain of life is not going to work the same way. You can't have a customer that uses the fountain of life for 1 month and then they get off of it and then they use it again for another month. It can't be a yo-yo system. It's not doing anything long-term for them. So if you have a customer that you're following up with, they should be reordering from you every single month, right? And you should never wait for them to call you, by the way. You should be doing a concierge service, which is calling them. You should be calling your customer and saying, hey, you know, I noticed it's about 30 days since your shampoo conditioner order. Did you want me to place another one? I noticed that your Fountain of Life bottles should be running out now. How many customers do you all have? 50, 100, 200? If you call 5, 10 customers a day, how many customers can you follow up with in 1 month? All of your customers don't buy the product the same day, right? They buy them at different times. So imagine if you spent a day and you followed up with 10 customers a day, 5 customers a day. Let's start with 1 customer a day. What would happen to your business? How many more reorders would you get? How many people's lives would you change with your product? Remember, the paycheck is in the follow-up. Write that down. The paycheck is in the follow-up. The residual is in the follow-up. Right? The residual is in the follow-up. So you want to make sure you're constantly, you know, going and following your dreams. You are going out there and talking to your customer. You're going out there with your purpose. What is your purpose? If you sold a product, your purpose was, I believe in what I'm selling. Yes, I believe in what I'm sharing. So if you believe in what you're sharing, why aren't you following up with your customer? So many times we go so hard to try to gain a customer, yet we give up on following up with a customer. You need to constantly follow up, team. You need to constantly remind your customers that you are there for them. Because let me tell you, you're going to have competition out in the world, not with the same product, but everyone has got their product that they're selling to your consumer, right? So what do you need to do? You need to inspire them. You need to follow up with them. You need to show them you care. Write that down, please. You need to show your customer you care. You need to make sure that your customer knows that they are important. How do you do that? Follow up. It's just common courtesy. It could be on an email. It could be on a WhatsApp. It could be on a text. How many of you have sent a customer a message and said thank you? How many of you have followed up for the Christmas holidays and asked them if they need any product from you? So follow-up is really, really key to your success and everything that you do. All right, so David, another topic I want to talk about is I want to talk a little bit about our toothpaste, because the toothpaste has been such a hot seller for us. We've done so well with it. Our consumers are loving it. They're ordering it like hotcakes. It has become another powerhouse product, just like Fountain of Life, just like other products. Anything in our Safe Home Revolution has definitely become a top contender. So talk to me a little bit about what makes our toothpaste so powerful and so different from the hundreds of toothpaste that are out in the market.
Well, on the market, there's essentially 2 types of toothpaste, 2 groups. One is the fluoride toothpaste that many people use. And the other one is a natural toothpaste with no fluoride in it. When we take a look at the former group, the fluoride toothpaste, there's a lot of controversy, and it continues to grow because they're concerned about the effects of fluoride on the body. They tied it to the early onset of diabetes. They've tied it to skeletal and dental fluorosis, which is weakening of the bones, and there's some concerns about it. There's also concerns about neurological development in children, exposure of fluoride. If you read further into that, you know, they're finding out that children exposed to fluoride when their mothers were pregnant had lower IQs at the age of 9 to 12. When they're exposed to fluoride when they're infants, again, their IQ development was much lower than the non-fluoride group at the age of 9 to 12. So they know that there's a correlation, there's some concern about that. And so they're looking at this very carefully as to what fluoride is really doing to us. And even so, the swallowing of toothpaste is not sanctioned as something that's safe. looking at a lot of the toothpaste. It'll say, if you swallow toothpaste, contact your poison control center. And as I've said this 1,000 times already, but I just want to reiterate this if someone's new, they mention this to their dentist. A lot of dental professionals say, well, that's not true whatsoever, that no one's ever been hospitalized over swallowing toothpaste. Well, there is a stat on that, unfortunately. 10,000 Americans each year are admitted to hospital for swallowing toothpaste. Stat. It's just that it's not a well-known stat. I don't think people are dying, so they're not making the paper, but it is there. And so, not to correct the dental professional, but at the same time, they will argue that point if you bring that up to them. But no, that's not true whatsoever, because we did the research on this. We took a deep dive into this to see, in fact, whether these stats are true. But there is some concern about dental and skeletal fluorosis, especially skeletal fluorosis. 40% of American teenagers are showing signs of dental fluorosis, which is discoloration of the teeth. That's permanent. Not a big deal. However, they're concerned about skeletal fluorosis and the long-term impact on their health. And so they're looking at this very carefully. So when I say that, okay, it's a word of caution to make sure that you are not swallowing toothpaste, number one, reducing your exposure to fluoride. The other thing too is make sure your children aren't doing this. And I always ask the little one in my life, Alex too, he's 10. I say, are you swallowing your toothpaste? He goes, no. I said, I don't believe you. So I gave him our toothpaste to make sure of that. And he likes our toothpaste. I have a feeling he swallows sometimes, but ours is safe. I'm encouraging him not to do that because it's still not a safe practice. So there's the other group is the natural toothpaste, and they brought that out, and they big fanfare, we got rid of the fluoride. Then to discover the rise of cavities. In other words, it doesn't work. If you read a lot of them, they just discolor the teeth. And so the question is, how can we create a toothpaste that's going to be efficacious? Well, we went to the Erlangen clinic in Europe and found out that microsilver will reduce plaque formation, halitosis, and dental caries. It was the key for dental health. People woke up with better smelling breath. They reduced the cavities. They reduced all these things without adding fluoride. And it has become a very, very powerful active ingredient. And so it is something that I think that people should be aware of, that this has been tested. This is not Opulence saying we're going to try this out and see how it goes. This has been tested by a university clinic to make sure that the product works. So this is really truly a very revolutionary type of toothpaste. And as you may or may not know, that our oral health is very important to us because now they're linking it to cardiovascular disease and worse. So we want to reduce that bacteria count in our mouth. And this is one thing that is always going to reduce the bacteria count. So I encourage you to at least investigate this and try the product. I think you'd be very surprised if you haven't.
David, I hear you talking about so many vital things in our health each and every single day. And, I think people just need that sort of education to go out there and to repeat what they're hearing, because everything you just shared is just so powerful in our well-being with something that we use orally every single day. How many of you that were just listening to David, just think about how many of you are moms or sisters or brothers or, taking care of someone that relies on you, and the toothpaste that they were using prior to ours was toxic to their body without realizing. Like, think about that. So how many people don't have that same education? How many of us need to go out there and share and to scream from the mountaintop about what it is that we are doing? We are giving the gift of every possible aspect, the safe home. Think about what that means for a minute. I want you guys to think about that. Write that down for those of you who have your notebooks, which, by the way, your notes are uncashed checks. Write that one down. Your notes are uncashed checks. Because in order for you to become a phenomenal teacher, for you to become a top income earner, you need to become a phenomenal student. I remember, I mean, as you see, Abdulia is taking notes. I remember when I first met Renee always had his notebook with him. And then he got fancy. He started to do it on his tablet. And then he started to do it on his phone. There's Abdulia's notes. So all of the,
but they're here.
tell me, Abdulia, what are some of those notes that you wrote, if you don't mind sharing? You don't have to show us the page, but share with us what you took notes with.
First of all, today's call is all about personal development. That was my first. To help you to believe in yourself and invest in yourself. My product is my investment in me. Your stories, money, 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 money.
Your stories equals money, right?
Yes, equals money, money, money. One of the things is, for me personally, I wrote, David says, even if you're taking multivitamins, it's okay. That's fine. You can take multivitamins, you can take Fountain of Life. That's not, it doesn't fight with each other. It doesn't kill the, it's just okay. Just tell your customers that it's totally okay to take Fountain of Life if you're taking vitamins. I really love the analogy about brushing your teeth for 30 days and not brushing them for 30 days. And I was like, oh my God, I really like it. I wrote it down and I have all my notes. And the other day with Danny, she's like, are you paying attention? I'm like, yes, I'm paying attention. And I'm the host, but I'm also taking notes.
Yeah,
I'm the host.
absolutely. No, you know what, Amelia, you're doing it right. You want to launch the Mexico market. You have been doing that. You taking notes because you know you need to train a team. Mm-hmm. So the reason I sort of got you to share your notes is how many of you are leading a team? Mm-hmm. How many of you have talked to someone? How many of you are doing trainings for your organization? Remember, we're not in the belly to belly anymore, right? We're belly to belly on screen. We're belly to belly on the phone. So we're going into a digital world more and more. So in order for you to do that, you need to duplicate the things that you hear. And the only way to do that is by taking notes and then talking about it.
And I love when you say the paycheck is in the follow-up. And I think a lot of us, including myself, we follow up one time, but if they don't pick up the phone, then we don't call back. And they're like, oh my God, should I call again? And we felt like I fell on following up. So it is true that the check is there. And of course, the check is in your notes and duplicate, what you learn, make sure it's duplicatable. David, I have a question. When you talk about the toothpaste with fluoride and the toothpaste without it that is already in the market, I was trying to take a lot of notes to write down, everything, the negative of both, right? The negative of the one that is already with fluoride and the one that doesn't have fluoride.
Yeah.
Is there any way, I don't know if it's already in our website, but I don't think it is. It's just to explain, because sometimes a lot of customers ask us that question, like, so what's wrong with my paste that I'm being using if it's organic, if it doesn't have fluoride, if, it's so natural, what's wrong with it? And I'm okay answering to the one that has fluoride. I'm okay answering that question. But when it comes to the one that says, oh, mine is totally organic, mine doesn't have fluoride, but do you have a written that we can memorize in a way to answer to those customers that are very, very familiarized with being organic, with, taking care of their health inside out? Is there any sentence, paragraph that we can have so we can memorize it?
Yeah, it does nothing.
Okay, well, what about if they ask more?
No, there's no active ingredient in a toothpaste that's not all natural that is going to remove the plaque that has been proven in a clinical study. There hasn't been anything like that. They've done a wonderful thing, and I always reinforce that. It's wonderful that they remove fluoride. I said, however, the problem is that there is no active ingredient in it. There is no, ingredient in there that to replace the efficaciousness of fluoride. Fluoride is designed, and here's the thing, when they say, well, it works. Well, the question is, how does it work?
Mhm.
Okay, fluoride is designed, it's a natural, when people go, I like natural. Well, fluoride is natural. It's a natural element that's very dangerous to so when that, you can't fall on that sword. But the thing is that when I talk to them, I always say to them, like, I understand what fluoride's for, is to build up the enamel in our teeth, to protect our teeth from the actual acid that's secreted from the bacteria. And people nod their head yes. So how does the natural toothpaste work? Well, what builds up the enamel? What doesn't? Well, our toothpaste, okay, it doesn't do that, fine. Our toothpaste, instead of building up the enamel, we eliminate the pathogens that secrete the acid. We do have a definite mode of action, whereas natural toothpaste do not. And the only way natural toothpaste really work is if you scrub the heck out of your teeth to remove the plaque, to remove everything as best you can, but it's not going to eliminate all the bacteria. And bacteria is resident in the mouth. It's one of the dirty areas of our body. We all know that.
Yeah.
Human body is very dangerous. It's so all these things. So it's not to be confrontational, but to explain to them why our toothpaste works. Our toothpaste works because we're eliminating the bacteria that's secreting acid, that's causing the cavities. The reason that natural toothpaste don't work is that they don't have any real specific mode of action. Unless they have something, but I've never seen it. No one's really seen it. So.
And David, I think what's also a big part, we pride ourselves in our microsilver technology being one of the first ones to be able to use it, because microsilver is another sort of antibacterial agent that kills bacteria. This is why, people that are using our night serum with the microsilver infused in it, they're seeking huge results. This is why our microsilver spray is going to be a huge hit when it's launched in January. This is why we are creating, Sterling, which is our microsilver lotion. By the way, some of you have been asking if we could make it into a hand and body. And since we have been basically working on it, we were able to do that. So it is going to be a hand and body lotion, and we're going to do some extensive training on that next week of what makes it so powerful from head to toe. So I cannot wait to train you on that next week with David. But one thing that's really, really key is that we are using the microsilver technology in order to do what you need to do for your oral hygiene. So, for example, yes, you may have an all natural, they call it organic, whatever, but the reality of it is that the reality of it is that everything is a chemical, by the way. And that's including H2O is still a chemical. So you also want to make sure you're getting a product that works. And that is something that, we've all experienced when it comes to our microsilver toothpaste. So not only the toothpaste, here's one thing I want to close the call with tonight. It's not my dog is bigger than yours, or our products are the best products out there. I think as opposed to comparing, I think what we all need to learn to do is to give the benefits and the big attributes of how our product is a benefit and how it differs from everything else that's in the market. Natural, fluoride, whatever that may be. I think that's what makes our product so extremely different, unique, whether it's the toothpaste, whether it's the FOL, whether it's the shampoo conditioner. It's all of the different attributes that we basically have. For example, something as simple as our jewelry line. Well, we've all heard of silver, right? We don't do 925 silver. We do 950 silver. So yes, we still create silver products, but it's unique because it's 950 silver, it's rhodium plated, it's handmade, it's hand set. So it's, our product has a totally different love and respect in the creation, whether it's our jewelry, whether it's the fountain of life, whether it's the micro silver spray, whether it's basically, you know, the lotion, whatever that we create is unique in its own perspective. So that is why all of you need to be on these calls every single week, because every week you learn something new. Every week you'll be inspired by something. Every week your business will go to the next level based on what you learn, because what you learn will help you to earn. Write that down. What you learn will help you to earn. So I am trying to plug in a little bit of more product business training with all of you, because a lot of you have requested it. We are going to do as much of it as possible. We want to be able to give you that knowledge and experience on these calls that we are having. I want to again thank David for being on the call. One last question I do have for David just before we conclude. I know we went a little bit over in time. David, is there any sugar in our toothpaste?
No, there's no sugar in it.
No.
It'd be a little counterproductive, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be very good for our teeth, to be honest with you, but no, there isn't any.
Yeah.
We don't have things like sugar for it.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And someone is commenting the toothpaste is now more liquidy. Yes, it has changed a little bit. The next batch that is going to be coming out for the new year, we've actually made it a little bit thicker again. It was because we had taken out I think it was the SLS out of it, David, is that right?
Yes, we took out any sulfates to make sure. Well, we did that on purpose, actually. So
yes. So now we're going to basically change it up. We're going to make it a little bit thicker for all of you. That way, you know, for those of you who like that thick sort of velocity of it or thickness of it, it's going to go back to that as well.
right.
Okay, Abdulia, I'm going to pass it over to you to conclude our call. I know you got some announcements. By the way, I know you have our New Year's webinar on here. The lines are filling up. So I just want to tell you guys, if you haven't registered, go. I don't know if we're going to need more lines, but if we basically, I think this is going to be a big sold out event. And this is like, you know, that crystal ball that you kind of hold and then you're like, where are we going? Well, we're going to give you a crystal ball at our New Year's webinar to tell you where we're going for 2021. I'm super, super excited about that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, David. Thank you so much, Sunas, for the call today. So much learning has always. Thank you again for your knowledge and sharing it with all of us.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much, Abdulia. I'll let you share the announcement.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, just like our Senior Vice President says, you know, it is limited lines. So you have to register. I did already last week. The corporate sent the email. On Saturday, the corporate sent another email. So you just have to click on it and register for this amazing, amazing call. You definitely cannot miss it. Meet with your team and make sure you're there. And tomorrow we have our amazing founder and CEO. So stay tuned for tomorrow, Forensic Networker call, 9 p.m. And of course, this Saturday, I want to share this with all of you. This Saturday, we're going to be doing Night of the Stars, and you want to make sure you're there because you want to make sure you do some little videos that you can post on your social media. Because you know what? A lot of people have already said no to us one time or too many times. But guess what? When they see that we're launching and that we are growing in Singapore, in India, in Nigeria, in Mexico, they're like, what? You know? So you want to be there. You want to be in this call. You want to make sure you do like videos with your cell phone, just the way I was doing right now. I'm going to be posting a video of Sanaz talking towards the end. You know, sharing with everyone in my social media that I'm excited to be in this call, that I'm excited for the growth of our company, that I'm super excited to be part of Opulence Global. So as you know, we have our holiday schedule. Make sure you already place your orders if you want them to be received by Christmas or before Christmas. And just, this is everything in our back office. Everything is in our dashboard. So if you missed it, just make sure you do a screenshot or you go back to your back office. We have version 3 of the Prosperity book ready for you to order it. And of course, our amazing banners are here. So you want to make sure you order them. It looks extremely professional when you dress up your office, when you dress up your space, so that you know exactly what you're representing, and your customers and prospects know exactly the different products that you have to offer. So thank you again, everyone. Have a great night. It is barely 6 p.m. here in California, but I know in different parts of the world. Good morning to the Philippines. Good morning to Singapore, and have an excellent night for those of you who are in this part of the world. See you guys tomorrow in Forensic Call.
All right, team. Good night, David. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia.
A great
Thank
job.
you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you,
Have a good
David.
evening, everyone. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.